Hi there, a friend recently asked me why they should buy a Kindle when they can just get the Kindle app on their iPad or their phone for that matter and just download all the books they want to read through the Kindle app. What's the point of buying a Kindle? And to this, I say you're right. You don't really need a Kindle. You can just get the app on your phone or your iPad or an Android for that matter, and you can do all the same things. However, when it comes to reading books for fun, I strongly believe that buying a Kindle is so much better, and an iPad is probably the worst thing you can use for reading books on a consistent basis. If you want to build a daily reading habit, I don't think using your phone or an iPad is right for you. Now, there are two main reasons why I feel an iPad is not the device you want to get when it comes for reading books. The first reason is that it's not a dedicated device for reading. When you buy an iPad, you have a device that you're probably using for more than one thing. You're not just buying an iPad to read books. There are so many things you can do on an iPad, like browsing the web, watching videos, messaging people, photos, taking pictures if you really want to, whatever it might be. You don't buy an iPad for reading books. Yes, you can do that, but that's not the main purpose. Because of that, there are so many distractions on the iPad. Think about that for a second. When you unlock your iPad or your phone, when you go to do something, how many times have there been where you go do something and you completely forget what you wanted to do because you got distracted by a notification or something else that came up on the screen, whatever it might be? It is so easy to get distracted on an iPad. When it comes to reading, I truly believe it should be a mindful activity. It shouldn't be something where you have to resist distraction to do it. When you read a book, you just want to read the book. You don't want to have to fight the urge to open up Twitter or YouTube or whatever it might be. When you have your device, when you have a dedicated device like a Kindle, all you want to do is pick up that device and read books. There's no ambiguity around it. There's no decision you have to make. You just do that one thing. You're also going to be associating the Kindle with reading books. You kind of have that mental association. When you pick up this device, the only activity you're allowed to do is read. The same cannot be said for your phone or your iPad. When you pick up that device, something else might be on your mind and you get sucked into a rabbit hole. However, there's one more reason why I feel the iPad is the worst device for reading books, and that really comes down to your eyes and straining them when reading on an iPad for a long period of time. Now, if you're new to the world of Kindles, this may sound weird to you, but the Kindle has a black and white display. There is no color on this display. And for someone new to the Kindle world, that may sound like ancient tech. Why would you buy technology that only has black and white on it? However, the whole point of a Kindle is the e-ink display. It makes it feel like you're reading real paper and text on a page. There is no feeling of reading on like an iPad, for example, with that backlight and that bright color screen shining in your eyes and that blue light as well. With this device on a Kindle, you don't have that problem. It's literally like opening up a book and reading a page on the text. It doesn't feel like you're using technology. It just feels like real paper. Now, because of that, you can actually read on the Kindle for a very long period of time. And I normally read for a half hour to an hour at any given time, and that is just the right time for a Kindle. If you try reading for an hour plus on an iPad, your eyes would definitely feel fatigued. It's not meant for that purpose. And really, the Kindle just does not feel like a regular device. It just feels like a real book. And the cool part about the Kindle is they still have that backlight. I think they actually call it front light. And it really works well at night because you can still read at night, have that light illuminate the screen, but it does it in a way where it's not glossy. It's not the same thing like an iPad backlight. It's very, very subtle. Also, on the Kindle, you can walk outside in the bright sunlight and read just fine as well. Like I've been saying, it's like reading a real book. The fatigue that your eyes feel when reading on an iPad is very, very bad. On a Kindle, you don't have that problem at all. Now, with those two reasons out of the way in terms of distractions and eye strain, I do think there are two reasons, though, why you should get an iPad for reading. And I think these are very limited use cases, but I do want to mention them because having an iPad is very useful in some very specific situations. The primary reason being if you're a student. If you're a student who reads textbooks, then a Kindle is not very useful for that purpose. Imagine reading a textbook on this tiny little screen. It's not very ideal. You can do it, you can highlight, you can take notes, you can do all those normal things that you would want to do on a textbook, but the experience will not be pleasant on a Kindle. On an iPad, you can do all those things much, much quicker, and you can quickly go back through your highlights, through your notes, and pinch and zoom. You can get the Apple Pencil and take notes that way. It's just much more practical for large format books like a textbook. And of course, the second reason why you should read on an iPad is if you have colored books. So things like comic books or children's books, those will look so much better on an iPad. Now, the Kindle does have support for viewing pictures and charts, things like that. However, they are not going to be in color, and the quality is just not the same thing. For pictures, if you're reading very heavy comic books and things like that, you want that very fine detail. You want the color of it as well. iPads are wonderful for that. I'm really interested to hear what you think. Leave a comment down below. iPad or Kindle, which one do you use? For me, you already heard what I think. I think Kindles are great for building a daily reading habit. They're great for mindful reading. If you want to read every single day, a Kindle is the way to go. But iPads do have a place as well. If you're in the market for a Kindle, you're a first-time Kindle buyer, I have a link on the screen right now for my video helping you choose which Kindle is best for you. Link for that right now. Go check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.